time to take a stand, bringing the truth to a fucked up land. We've had enough of the lies and deceit. We're done for good with the toxicity. All hail thanks, we are the Rabyd Nation. All hail thanks, we are the Rabyd Nation. All hail thanks, we are the Rabyd Nation. We are the Rabyd Nation.
All right, and a hearty shout out to all of you in the Rabyd Nation. Welcome one and all, whether you are a tourist, a person who has bought their citizenship, or just a person looking across the border, wondering whether or not you should immigrate to this wonderful nation. I welcome one and all, and welcome to the Rabyd Atheist. I'm your host, Ed Rabyd, a former pastor turned atheist, now a compassionate anti-theist. Welcome to my channel. And welcome to Deconversion Hangout on a Thursday, where we talk deconversion, where I will also, advise people that are going through deconversion if that's what you need. If you need some emotional, mental support, I am here for that as well. That's kind of part of what I do. But today I've just started with the question, what was that key moment in your deconversion? And I will get to that in a moment, but I got a couple announcements. So first of all, there is a Discord link in the chat. So if you haven't joined the Discord and that's something you're interested in, you're always welcome to do that. I think we're trying to create a community there where, like the streams are great, but crises don't always happen on streams. So if you need some help or just to laugh or just to hang out with a few other people, you're more than welcome to use that. Also, there's, of course, the goal in the chat. If we reach that goal, I will wear whatever hat is chosen by the polls. It's my polite way of keeping the streaming going and all that sort. So there you go. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Starting Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, I'll be adding another stream. So I'll be getting to that point where I'm streaming 5 days a week and taking the weekend off, which I think I was a little worried about whether that might be a little bit overwhelming for me, but it seems like the 2 days off in a row kind of actually relaxes me a lot more and allows me to fully recharge a little bit better. So that's been good. And before we get to the topic tonight, let's see if we got a roll call. John was here a little bit early. And let's see, Jacqueline was here. Cranky Elder God is here. Cranky asked the question of whether Easter should be celebrated as Fang's birthday. It is not Fang's birthday. Fang's birthday is January 30th, which we celebrated a couple months ago. Easter, however, has a very special place in Fang's heart. So it's the time of coming of age. I think somebody was an Earl. Yes. Yeah, like a bar mitzvah or muzzle tough for Fangs. Yes. I think we could say that. We could say that. So, and yes, I killed Earl. Welcome to the lap in which our Lord naps. And good to see you, Earl. Appreciate you. Let's see. Martin is here. Michael is here. The only support you can provide is mental. Okay, there you go. Merlin. That's Merlin, right? I remember that right. Gosh, you guys have changed all your names since YouTube did its thing. So there you go. And Jova Shade, welcome. Oh, and thank you very much. Good to see you too. Appreciate you, like a lot, like in many more ways than one. But yeah, appreciate you. All right, the question tonight for those of you deconverting: what was the key moment in your deconversion? When did it happen? Was there a key moment, or was it one of those death of 1,000 cuts things, your deconversion? I would say for me it was a little bit of both. I've had my moments where I realized I wasn't a Christian anymore, and I had my moments where I realized I didn't really believe in any gods anymore. The date of my leaving Christianity is May 27th, 2015, and I was still in the pulpit. So But I had checked out mentally and spiritually, if you will, out of Christianity at that moment after I realized sin wasn't a real thing, and thus the whole gospel message was bunk. And so I kind of left at that point. So, but it was about a year later when I took a sabbatical because of all that. And I went into the sabbatical kind of thinking there might be a God still existing. And when I came out of the sabbatical, I was kind of very convinced that there really wasn't one. So those are kind of my moments. And I think the significance of that for me was they marked a turning point in my life, and I was able to kind of reshift and refocus to something else. So there's that. But yes, Black Sabbatical. Yeah, that was an interesting month, John, because I ended up like my dog of 15 years. I had to put down that month early in the month. I remember that day too. It was like June 6th, 2016 was the day I had to put my dog down. I still remember. I still have his collar up here somewhere. Very, very significant moment. But at the same time, I was also watching my faith in God die and a whole bunch of other things that I just didn't need anymore. And Chapman, okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. Trying to remember everybody's names. So, first time I ever stopped to ask myself, what if it isn't true? What would I see? Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, you saw that. Yeah, it was a rough month, but it was also like a good month in a certain way, John, because it was like that whole faith part of me died. And when I came back to the church after that, I was a different pastor because I realized I didn't believe in any of this. I didn't believe in any superstition. And so I had to, in order to be, it was really hard to be honest about things. And I found myself lying a lot, which was sucky because I really hate doing that. But like, I didn't know any other way to make my living. And so that was kind of my moment. Those are my moments in my deconversion. So I don't know if anybody else has something else like, yeah, it hurts. Like, deconversion is one of those things. Like, I think there's a large part of it that is a death of a thousand cuts. Like, you don't believe this doctrine anymore. This thing doesn't make sense anymore, and blah blah blah. So yeah, it was more of that. But there were some significant moments where I'm like, I reached a certain point, and my eyes got opened, and it hurt a little bit, and like everything I'd worked for up to that point didn't make any sense anymore. So there's that. See, for me, I was halfway through 7th grade at a Lutheran private school. The dissonance between the message and the reality broke my belief. The bullying and xenophobia didn't help. Yes. I have noticed, I have noticed that with a lot of people that come here and talk about it, it's like the being afraid of other people, the tribalism, the bullying can really break that down. But the message and reality, oh man, talk about something that doesn't mask up, so it doesn't line up. Yeah, you can't unmask about things. The believing family, like for some of you, that believing family is an issue. Like it is a tough, mean issue because it's like, what do I do? I saw a story recently. Oh gosh, was it one of the advice columns? Like somebody wrote in for advice about they have a family, they are an atheist, and they have a family full of people that like to bring up their beliefs all the time. At what point is that impolite? And I'm thinking to myself, that's not even tipping the iceberg. So it's like, yeah, so there you go. YouTube undid all that. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like my problem is YouTube kind of mucked everything up with changing the names. And it's like everybody had really cool names. And now it's like, it's got this at whatever. And it's like, this just doesn't work as well. Felt like a 4-decade-long superfool. I can see that. I grew up in the church, so like I was a Christian from the time I was 8. And so when I broke away, I there was a lot of issues there. Like I remember like a friend of mine after I left the church sent me a picture of me in our old church way back when, where I was dedicating her daughter. Like I was doing the ministry dedication thing in the Assemblies of God, and I was dedicating her daughter as a minister. And this is a great moment. I'm so upset. Like, um, yeah, there's a lot of things like people met. I live in the same town I used to be a pastor in. So every once in a while I run into somebody that says, "Oh, I miss you doing this and this." And I'm like, I don't. So, super atheist origin stories. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you just like looking around at just YouTube, didn't like most of them come out of faith that are kind of bigger. Like, see, Paul Gia is a former believer. I think Vice Rhino is a former believer. Like, if you look at some of the ones that have, and yours truly, I guess I'm not a super atheist, but but there's a ton of us that used to be something. Like the ones I'm connected, like Mighty Philbert, Skeptic Philosophy, Captive Desk. You look at all those guys. I don't know, is Captive Desk a former believer? But I know there are several former believers on Saturday Night at the Atheist. So it's like it seems to be a thing. Okay, like this is how we became what we are. So, did I blame myself for not saying? Yeah, um, I think it's not so much for not seeing things either, for not taking action about it. Like I kind of intellectually knew that the whole bullshit was there. Like it's like this doesn't make any more sense than any other religion. Like if you do any kind of comparative religion studies, you're going to end up in a mode of, yeah, I should have saw this sooner, but it's not taking action. Like it's continuing to just self deceive yourself. Like you have a problem there. It still affects me to this day because I have to be careful, like rechecking over my beliefs. I think what it does, it makes you a little paranoid afterwards about picking up stuff that you don't necessarily believe is true or anything like that. So, yeah, so there's that aspect of it. So I still kind of kick myself a little bit, but then again, I kind of taken what I am and turned it into something hopefully positive. Um, yeah, you did it to yourself. Bitchy doesn't sound kinky. Just before the end of the world fail, I watched a YouTube short video from Commentary. They did react vids of BS they didn't like, who explained that this has happened a lot and it's BS. Yes. Yep. So there you go. Yes. Yeah, Mr. Zod, Mr. Deity, Apologia. There's a list of former believers, and I forgot Prophet of Zod, like, and Mr. Z. But yes, yeah, but there's a bunch of us that just went into YouTubing because we're like, this is bullshit, and somebody needs to say something. Treated outside the special families as fodder. Not even all Lutherans were good enough. Non-Lutheran Christians just exploited for cash. Yeah, I think that's one of the interesting things, that once you deconvert, you see the money game. Like there's a money game here where people are just taken advantage of, and it's the system too. So there's that. You're not going to join a religion if you're not going to be the Pope. Okay, yeah, you got to go for the top. Yeah, I don't miss the falseness of it. There are some people that were good people, that were good friends. I miss some of them. Sorry. Oh, money. Thanks, Martin. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's two. What's winning? The St. Patrick's Day hat is winning right now. I don't know. Yeah, you don't want to be fooled again. Like like every time somebody proposes to you, you're being very, very skeptical. I think the thing about former belief and the moments you have when you like wake up, it's like, I don't want to be fooled again. And so when somebody proposes something to you, I think it kind of makes, skepticism is good, but former believers that come out of the bullshit tend to be more super skeptics than anything else. Like it's that thing. Like you tend to be skeptical of everything, and maybe it's sometimes overdone, but like you're a little paranoid. Okay, you're a little paranoid. Hey, Wolf, good to see you. Like, mind shift, yes. Yeah, mind shift's a former believer. Drew, the genetic mnemonic skeptic, is a former believer. McCoy is a former believer. There are some that are skeptics that are still believers. So there you go. But you like the like button instead of nibbled it. Okay. That tends to be a common mistake. And thanks, Cranky. It tends to be a common mistake, Michael. Sorry. Like we nibble the like button around here. That's a devotion to fangs issue. Like it's a nibble thing. Oh, but yeah. Former believers are the ones with the biggest drive to fight. Yeah, I think so. It's like some of the biggest people that are like against con artists are also the people that were the biggest con, like they got con big. Like it's um and so because they got conned by something big, they decide to go all out against the con. And I think that's actually very helpful. It's something that people don't take seriously. But I know that like for a lot of us deconverted folks, it's very much like, oh, I don't want to be fooled again. And I'm going to try to show everybody else that they don't need to be fooled either. Like I feel like, when you're doing that, I really do feel like the little boy with his finger in the tank, because faith and belief is far more prevalent than recognizing religious as a con. Like it's like we've had this discussion worldwide. Like in the Western world, it's like sure, we can see the con, but worldwide religion seems to be doing very, very well. So some nipple button, wrong right site. Sorry, yes, that's a wrong website. And yes, make sure it's consensual. Like you should, but the like button isn't all that like hard to get consent from. So the boy yelling faith, yeah. Yes, yeah. Oh, you're thinking of Only Fangs, or was it Winky Fans? Okay, I don't know, but yes, like we're out here kind of like, hey, there's a problem here, but we're very few doing it. I remember when I was in the second year of being a YouTuber, and somebody getting a comment, oh no, great. Just what we needed was more atheists like this. And my response was like yes, because like how many Christian sites are there? How many apologetic sites are out there? So lanky fangs. Okay. I don't know. I think Earl did she did an only fangs, I should say, thing. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. See, only fangs. There's a video of that too. If only I could remember where I put it. But yes. Yeah, I think atheism needs more proponents, but yes. But yes. Back in the days when I was still a young tuber. We're kind of doing that Friday. Like I'm reviewing an old video of mine from the very start of this channel. I can't remember. It was like the 10th video I did or whatever. Somebody requested it on Discord because it's the title of the video I did was the anti-sermon number one. and I was talking about Abraham is not a hero, and so that was kind of the motif for it. But yes, but yeah, it's been one of those things. So, but yes, you can have. You might have been confusing it with OnlyFans, so it's possible. So. You don't want to live long, it seems. Huh? No, probably not. Probably. Okay, but yes, but yeah, though it. The thing about it is, I've now been around long enough where I've seen changes. Like, there's a lot of people back in the day when, I'm speaking back in the day, like only 5 years ago, that were like they were everywhere, and there was a lot, and then they disappeared. I've probably lost track of the number of small YouTube channels that started up, as this kind of thing and have faded in time. And some of them just couldn't make the transitions, but others of them were just like, it's very tempting to give up because let's be honest, if you post a new Christian YouTube site, it's going to be bigger and badder than if it's like a Christian site or trying to an apologist site. They always seem to have the advantage of numbers. And so the atheist YouTuber or the guy who's working on deconversion or trying to, yeah, so there's that. But it's like it's difficult. I think my key moment since doing YouTube, deconversion moment, has been to realize how difficult it is to fight against the machine. And the machine is this Christian apologetics machine that still exists. So, but they like to say, well, we wouldn't exist if it wasn't for you atheist YouTubers. And I'm like, yeah, bullshit. You guys would need to exist no matter what. So, but yeah. See, atheists don't often care about falsifying Christianity, where Christians want to be confirmed all the time. Way bigger channel because, yeah, and I think that's it. Like, there's a good deal of truth there. It's like, I'm not really interested in falsifying Christianity all the time. Whereas Christians need something that keeps their Christianity viable all the time. So, stop breathing for weeks. Jesus is overrated. Thank you, doctors and nurses. Yes. When you realize that you lost it, what was your biggest concern? Oh gosh, I was invested as a pastor, so it was my job. Like, imagine if suddenly the basis for you doing your job that you do suddenly disappears. Like, somebody creates a technology or invents something, or the reason that your job exists suddenly ceases to exist. What would your concerns be? Okay, that's kind of what my concerns were. Um, you could probably live off the falsity of people still thinking they need your goods or services or whatever. But, like, that would, if something ceased to exist, that was the basis for your job, how would you feel about that? That's kind of how I felt. Like, it was my biggest concern was I invested like 20 plus years of my life into being a minister. So now what do I do? And at the time I was going to school. So I just started school again, and it was like, it was difficult. It was difficult. That was probably the biggest thing that I struggled with was, what am I going to do for a living? And that was my biggest concern because it's like my kids are all grown up. They're all got kids of their own by that time, like say like 2015. Yeah, both my children were married. And so, and my middle child still isn't married, but he was out of the house. Like, there was a whole, that wasn't an issue, but it was like, okay, what do I do now? And that's why the clergy project became big for me. But that was a big concern for me. The other big concern was, how is everybody going to react if I walked out of here because I'm an atheist? Like, if I stood in the pulpit and said I can't do this job anymore because I don't really believe in any of this, what would be the reaction of my congregation, because it's like it was yeah, it was a moment. So living a lie is psychologically disruptive too, and no one wants to turn into a POS like Turek, who will say anything at the. Yeah, it's like I was one of those guys. Like I was a sincere pastor who sincerely believed this stuff, although I had a lot of problems with it until that moment when I realized I didn't believe in it anymore. And then you have that crisis moment of how can I use this while I'm trying to figure this out. I know my sermons changed a lot to more character, living certain virtues, like being courageous. Like I changed the nature of my sermons from looking to the future and heaven and all that stuff to more of a practical, how do I live my life as a Christian, so to speak, so it was more like that. I think you can do that. I think a lot of people who deconvert, they stay in church because they can still do some of that, but they don't really believe. I think there's a lot of non-believers in church today, or every Sunday and Saturday, if you're depending on your religion. So losing all my calling as it felt like I'd lost 24 years of my life without any notice. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was a positive. Like I was trying to do something with it, even though I was an atheist, and I was trying to figure out a way to get out of it. Unfortunately, I think the stress of it caused a lot of problems, and eventually I ended up probably self-sabotaging to get out more than anything. And so, yeah, I haven't noticed before it was public. If they did, they didn't say anything. Let me think. I think my organist, before he died, kind of knew. Like he knew that I was just putting together services and we were doing this and that and the other thing. And I think he might have known, but he never said anything. The real problem with that is I don't know what some people suspected. I had people in the congregation that didn't believe in God, so it was kind of really weird. Like they were deists more than they were like Christians, so they came for that reason. So, but I feel like orphan from my professional. Yeah, like it's like I've said that this last year with all of us here streaming and the fluffle and the fangsology, and there's an element to my life that's kind of returning, like that social aspect of the church is kind of returning, using the internet as a way of doing that. That is definitely starting to come back, but a lot of that got lost when I left the church. And I think I could argue that one of the reasons I switched from making so many videos to streaming is the desire to create a community that I really needed for myself. So Calvinists here are known for talking behind the back, so never tell it to the face. Yes. No, I couldn't do that. The thing about him is I don't know if he really believed himself, because he liked playing the organ and he was damn good at it too. Like if you're not into organ music, you would still listen to him because he was that good. What became the saddest moment in my life dealing with him was the last 6 months he was alive, because before that he had a stroke. And he comes back after a couple months off, and he's trying to play the organ, and it's just not the same. Like he lost some of the use of some of the stuff. And I remember going home after hearing him, like, we're placating the guy, because he's served that church for like 20 years as its organist. And it was one of the harder moments. So it's like, I'm not sure about him. Like, I think he stayed in the church because he wanted to play the organ. So he may have suspected something, but he didn't. He might have been in his own problems too. So, oh, excuse me. Yeah. there's a lot of truth here. Like we don't. I try to. We're all honest. At least I think so. So, but yeah, we try. We definitely try. The risk of self-sabotage at that point kind of expected, but the new sermon sound like first do no harm approach to giving and still trying. Yeah, you're still trying to treat the truth and hope. Yeah. Um, I think the stress level got to me in the end. I think me and my therapist kind of concluded that after talking about a year. She's like, yeah, the affair makes sense. The way you exited, like it was sudden and quick because of certain things. Like there was just a lot of stress on me, and then trying to just get to my end of my education to get a different job. It was like, yeah. But yeah, it's in the end, it's like it was kind of expected, and I kind of crashed out hard because I couldn't maintain it. I can't maintain a lie forever, especially when you don't like it. So yeah, yeah, it was kind of nasty. And also trying hard not to derail for now. Okay, we'll derail the conversation. It'd be good for a lot of us to have a few laughs before the night's over. So, but yeah, yeah. Uh, but yes, I remember feeling sad about that. He died. The organist died. One of my good friends inside the church died about the same time. They're like a couple months apart. Um, Caught flack for that one too because she had requested. She knew she was dying, and she basically told me not to tell her kids. And then when she did die, and it came out that I knew about it, that she was dying, her kids started giving me shit, and so it was a pile on. It's like I'm just trying to respect the final wishes of somebody, and yeah, yes, giggles are always welcome. Always welcome. You can derail things. Go right ahead. Don't tell the Dutch rail. Okay. Hey, you gotta watch the Dutch thing. I live not too far from Holland, Michigan, so I can be there in like an hour. Uh, so yeah, the Tulip Festival will be coming up here shortly. Like it's been unseasoned. It's been warm this week. Like it's almost to 50. So the snow is melting. So yeah, family can. Yes, yes. But yeah, like I think that after the thing happened, though, my family, of course, became a concern. Like my daughter got stressed out. My sons were both upset. So it was a moment. So being in physical rehab here twice for 3 weeks opened my eyes to the suffering of others and the crap life can throw at you. Yes. I don't know. I worry about myself with that because when people are going through troubles, I've heard so many troubles as a minister. It's like I don't want to be sometimes flippant about them, but it's like after a while, it's just like, oh, here we go again. And I don't know. It's something I'm gonna have to talk to my therapist about the next time I talk to her because I want like is the ministry made me so that when I listen to other people's troubles, it's like yeah, this is the 5 millionth time, kind of thing. And I need to get better at like sorting that out. So, excuse me. I think the part, but for me, it was dealing with depression and anxiety and being unable to also hold myself to a rigid black and white standard where they're always failing. I couldn't take it. Yep. Yeah, the depression anxiety rotation for me is pretty strong. So, and then when you have the additional stress of trying to believe in something that you can't believe in anymore, that just feeds into that. Yeah, religion tends to be very black and white. There's a part of humanity that likes black and white. They like simple answers, but I've found the longer I live, there's very, very little simple. So, It's warm here. It's nice, but yeah. Families, you cannot choose them. You can only erase them. Okay. What exactly do you mean by erase? I think you should probably clarify. You need to clarify that one. Sometimes I feel like forced socializing is coming. Yes. Oh, interesting thing is if you've never had a serious health hit, it's very hard to relate. If you have already had a difficult level to start the conversation, as with other things. Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty damn healthy most of my life, so maybe that's part of the problem. But like let's see, I had appendicitis, so I no longer have an appendix. I've had 3 hernia surgeries over the years, so I've had that. I was diabetic, but I moved to pre-diabetic, and I'm still there. So, yeah. So I've never had something so super serious where I was like, "Oh my God, my life's almost over." So get to drive home with the windows down, wash my car. I'm so ready for spring. Well, it's coming. Uh, I know this here in Michigan. It finally got up to 50 degrees today. Was it today or yesterday? And the snow is melting at a rapid rate. There's hardly any left. So I'm kind of good with that. But everything's now this gray brown, waiting for spring because I'm waiting for color. Like I like the greens when they come out and the flowers come out pretty good. I know that's showing my liking for flowers side, and that's kind of that part of my life. So, but I like colors. So, and right now it's just not very colorful. It's just gray and brown and yuck. And so here, we'll throw a little color into this. We'll throw baby fangs up here, and wish all of you a very, very colorful spring. Okay, there you go. So, race as you please. Okay, there we go. Okay, I was wondering what you meant by erase your family. Uh, Appeals to because it's useful, but it isn't the truth, and we need the truth too. Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that I took away from deconversion since I deconverted was how lacking of simple things there are. So yeah, it's there. Surprised you as well. Yeah. I met people that seem to have fewer issues with fuzzy understanding of how to believe. Seems like I feel I so I feel like some of the high bar stuff came off for me. Certainly, it's encouraging in my humble. Okay, yeah, I can see that. The sun was out here and the gym was empty this evening. It's usually a pretty good sign of spring. When people decide to go outside for their exercises instead of inside. Hey, Nathan. Well, there you go. I'll be in the low 80s tomorrow. I saw some pink dogwoods and some crepe myrtles, and boom! After the big rain, oh yeah, we're getting a thunderstorm move in. I think this evening or tomorrow morning, and it's a warm front thunderstorm, and it's going to hit the Great Lakes, and it's going to cause all kinds of rain. So and then after that, it's supposed to be in the 50s and 60s every day for a while. And if that happens, we will see some green. And I'm really hoping for that because I will feel so much better. Like right now, you can tell, like it's at the point where the snow has caused a cabin fever level of depression in almost everybody, and it sucks. Okay, we just want out of it. We want out of the gray, white gloom and get to something else. Yeah, I don't look forward to the pollen either, but I'd rather take some color and just enough cloudiness to keep my hypersensitivity from going off. But it never works out that way. See you later, Martin. Have a good one. I might actually go camping after this rain. Going to rain all weekend. Okay. If you end up going camping, let us know. It means things are happening. Spring is springing. a whole bunch of other stuff happening that's not so great, but it might be nice to look forward to spring, I guess. Second favorite season of the year for me. To upcoming brooms and greenery. And thank you, Josh. Appreciate it. That's 3. And 4. And the St. Patrick's Day hat is leading. I do have a St. Patrick's Day hat, but I decided to offer it up as an early reward if that's what somebody wants. So you can see what I'll be wearing on St. Patrick's Day for that first Tuesday broadcast. That's right. Yeah. If Fred was here, he would be like, yeah, shut up. The Australians and New Zealanders would probably revolt. People in South America, Africa. Like, what the hell? Yeah, spring is the season of fangs. You love having a squeaky clean car? All right. Tax write-off? Yeah, spring is the season of fangs. Easter is kind of we have a holiday season for fangs. Like it's his type of holiday if you go back to its pagan roots. So membership to the car wash have right behind the tax write-off. I like having a clean heart too. The only thing this warm weather is probably going to energize me to do is my entire apartment will get cleaned at some point. And I'm not talking just wipe everything down and vacuum. I'm like go through every container, every cupboard. Oh, this has been sitting here for 3 years. Maybe it's time to get rid of it. So really enjoying the break from the hot weather in the high 20s and 30s. Okay, there you go. One was questioning the contradictions for the definitions like conditional acceptance or unconditional versus unconditional love, free will versus foreknowledge. Yes. It's interesting, though, that contrasts very hard with what apologists say people deconvert for. Like they'll sit there and say, oh, you got butt hurt by the church, or you were in some hyper-controlling church, and then that's why you left. But the more stories I hear, it's usually almost always in some way related to some form of doctrinal or church hypocrisy or inconsistency or biblical inconsistency. So there's that. Earl Michael says that that's not a tax write-off, that's money laundering. So, just so you know, your membership at the car wash. So there you go. Foreknowledge versus foreskin. You do that too, okay? Yep. Hey, it's the St. Patrick's Day hat that won too. You guys have finally got in. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. You guys are awesome. The Purge Spring Cleaning Edition. Yes. And I don't know, this one is going to have to be doctored up a little bit, I think. I've got to add some embellishment to this one. But yes, it is a tax write-off. Okay, there you go. Well, it's money laundering, according to Michael, too. I think he was trying to make a pun. Evan's not here, so somebody's got to do the puns. And Michael elected himself. So oh, well, probably the best thing ever, but it's horrible. Yes, that's a valid reason to stop believing in the religion, no matter what apologists say about it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, it's Michael. Michael asked me to do, like, if you're looking for a place to post your memes, like, I don't know if we'll probably still review them, but you know, the Discord server, I posted a couple of good examples, I think, and Michael was asking for a place to put his memes, so I created one. So we'll see what Michael does with the memes. So, but yes, religion often promises a lot, doesn't it? It does, and then you stop believing it. So I think I'm going to say this about religion and politics in general. I think there's a distasteful taste, at least in the Western world, where politics and religion get together, and it doesn't matter who does it. Like it's like if people are doing crap for religious reasons, I think these days in the Western world is kind of distasteful that that's the case. So, oh yeah, it's a meme. It is a meme channel. I got it there. I just called it memes. So if somebody can else come up with a greater title, then go for it. But yes, but now Earl's they're gonna have a meme channel on our Discord. So I'm waiting for Michael's memes. He said I would regret it. So there we go. You were going on a religious pilgrimage to see the Pope in Poland, and that's when it happened. That's your key deconversion moment. How did that work out, Bren? Like, how did that? Like, that one's a curious one. Like, how did that work out? Like, it caused you to like. So, like, what is all that? Like, what is the specifics? Because that sounds like there's a story there. It's the meme dream on channel. Okay. Let's see. What can we call that? Racking my brain a Discord channel dedicated to the Fluffle of Fangs. What would we call our meme channel? Like, what would we call that? I need name suggestions. I'll change it from just memes to whatever. But yeah. back in the days. Okay, yes. But yeah, I can see that. But I don't know what would you call that? Instead of nom nom, it's me. Okay, we can do that. So there you go. Oh, seeing how the care was only for the religious to the most part, that was an issue. As I'm a social and association, need to take care of the greatest size. So, oh, okay. So just seeing that, like the religious society was just taking care of the religious people and not taking care of other people. Yeah, that's kind of that's a good one. So, all right. Checking out the Buddhist temple mostly for free counseling. I suspect Buddhist teaching without worshiping him as a god. Yeah, I mean, there are Buddhists that don't have a god. So there's atheist Buddhists. So let's see. Socially, the U.S. has seemed about 50 to 70 years behind Europe in a number of things. Right now, about 90 years maybe. But a mobile American can stride boldly forward out of the 20th century. Yeah, yeah. The foreign policy has kind of taken a regression about 20, 30 years. I would agree with you there. Like uh, I am so like, let's not do the war thing. I'm very. It's not that I don't see the necessity of war in certain situations. It's just this isn't defensive in my opinion. So I just have a hard problem with war anymore. It's such a waste. Like you got politicians making decisions that cause other people to lose their lives, and we're all going to praise them for their sacrifice. But it's like to me, it's just a waste. So I memed a meme in a time gone by. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I can buy that, Michael. Like there's some people that long for the good old days. So I was so not surprised I left religion as they saw it coming for years. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of a blessing, Brent, in some ways. Like the rest of them, like I don't know, people didn't see it coming for me. So there you go. All right. Well, I'm in my 45-minute to 50-minute range, so I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break, and I'll be right back. But it allows me to focus for the rest of the more if I just take a quick break. So I will take that break, and I will be right back, and I'll see you then. All right, and I am back. Thanks for the little break, folks. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, you see, I kind of did one of my own, but I'm not. I think our idea of putting stuff on there that advertises like the Discord and things like that, I think that's a great idea. You said it was a great idea, so I think we can, work on it in your leisure. I've got one for now. It's a practical concern on my part as a host. Radio talk show hosts get that commercial breaks, and I don't. And I now understand why they get those commercial breaks. So, so it's like it alleviates a lot. Trust me. So, picking back up. Your family surprised because you were deep in it. I was mostly putting in the Christian hat. Didn't realize, didn't really believe it though. Sometimes I did go fully into it. Yeah, we all find ourselves there. And that's why I think a lot of people were surprised when I walked away because I was a pastor at the time. It shocked a lot of people. I still get that from time to time. So, but there you go. There you go. But yeah, I think that's probably a common reaction of family. I've been doing this for a while, and the comments I've got over the years has been like family is always surprised most of the time because you're doing your best to look the part, but you're not you're not there. So you're just not there unless people know you really well. They will do that. So. I had to pull the music. I think some of you are talking about the music. I had to pull the music off because even though the place I said it's not copyrighted, it ended up being copyrighted. So I'm going to have to look around for something free. So, one of your celebrities like good off the clock. Oh, by Chris. My commercial by Chris from the Atheist Morning Show. He might show them. Okay. Yeah. The thing about intermissions and commercials is like in production, like if I pull away from the whole atheist show, this show, like I'm beginning to realize why people take breaks. And for the hosts of shows, it's usually more practical concerns, like they're dry, they got to go to the bathroom or something like that. And so, a 3-minute commercial set is kind of their way of adjusting and quickly getting back into it. And so I'm like, I can stream till like an hour and a half every day if I do that. So yeah, you do it when you need to, Earl. No pressure. Like I've got the sub for now, and I can imagine that as things change and we grow things, we'll find other things to advertise too. So it'll work. You got the music covered? Cool. I'll let you handle that part. I'll leave mine blank for now. But I definitely wanted to make sure that gets done at some point. But I've got something that helps me now, and it was a good move. So, Fan Fridays videos. See, also studying evolution with an unbiased mindset also helped me wake up out of my delusion. Yes. How does all that stuff factor in? Hold on. Yeah, just make it 2. 2 is fine. I'm usually good with 2. We can do more, but how much of that factors into deconversion is interesting. I can tell you my story. Like I began to look up evolution as after being a longtime creationist once I switched to being a congregational pastor. And what I've discovered is that creationists lie about it a lot. Like it wasn't so much that evolution convinced me of the truth of it or anything like that. It's that I realized how much creationists, like young earth creationists, lie about what evolution and Big Bang Theory and all that stuff said. It was not so much that it was true that evolution began to convince me of its, through the data and the evidence, it convinced me of the truth of it. What really struck me is as I learned what evolution actually said and what people who understand evolution actually said, and I compared it with what the creationists said. Um, so there you go. But yeah, um, that's kind of the issue. Like it wasn't so much that evolution convinced me. It was just so much how the young earth creationists lie about it. Like they lie about it and you suddenly realize, okay, this is what they propagandize and this is what it actually is. And then of course later on it's like, okay, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. It has data, it has, peer reviewed studies, it has people that are looking into this heavily and doing the research and coming up with their hypothesis, their standards of falsifiability, like, and all of that. And the creationists aren't doing that. But the first thing that really struck me about that was how much creationists lie about what evolutionists say. So, how did I come on with it? I think Earl nailed it. Yeah, I said it the last time I used it. Like me and my daughter both have an interest. Like there's always a liquid beverage of some sort laying around somewhere around me, and I'm constantly drinking from it. So, yeah, it's kind of, and that comes up with its side effects. So, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was the dishonesty of the younger creationists that struck me when I began to like look at evolution. And like if you the young earth creationists will sit there, evolutionists say this, and I just saw one today, like the dating methods are off. They're deliberately doing the datings, and the young earth creationist site that came from, I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is not how to date. Like they don't even know how to do the dating methods properly. And so they're lying. Okay. They're straight up lying about it and how these dating methods are supposed to be used. And that's what struck me the most. Like when I first got into it and looking at it, it's like these young earth creations just straight up lied. So, hey, Evan, yeah, I'm already wearing the hat. I gotta dial this one up for St. Patrick's Day though. It needs some embellishment. I'm not sure how to do that yet, but I'm gonna. I did once upon a time, but as I began to actually study it, like Darwinist is a term that creationists make up. Nobody really calls themselves a Darwinist on the scientific side. Scientism, that doesn't really exist on the scientist side either. I found out young Earth creationists make up a lot of terms like evolutionists and Darwinists, and they don't exist. And then you start studying what evolution actually says, how evolution happened, and then you listen to the young Earth creationist, and they don't match up. Like they lie. So yeah, comes with good dehydration. Yes. They want to protect their Christian identity. They can't admit they're wrong. Yes, and the funny thing about it, though, with evolution and everything, what bothered me the most was there are a lot of Christians that don't find a problem because they look at the Genesis story as more of a metaphor than actual history. But like people like Ken Ham make the point, though, if it's not literal history, then the rest of the Bible, uh, there's that's gone for them. Like there's a lot of things in the Bible that don't make sense if it's not history. Like Jesus, for instance, when he talks about Noah and other places, he talks about them as if they're historical events, like the character of Jesus does. So it's kind of hard to reconcile that. So but a lot of Christians can reconcile believing in evolution and their faith, and for some reason, young Earth creationists can't. So I've been making it to so few streams, so many meetings. On the bright side, the reason I missed yesterday's stream was because I was meeting a local pilot and grilling him on public health. Okay, cool. See, Evan, you're always like, I want to let everybody know I'm going to be streaming 5 days a week. So don't feel obligated to show up to every stream. I would like you to, sure, but don't ever feel obligated to show up to every one of them. Pop in when you can, support me when you can. I appreciate whatever happens. So, within 10 days, a bit more than, but hey, fair enough. There's just a little bit of, yeah, they see Darwin as a prophet of a heathen religion. Like young Earth creationists try to do that a lot. They try to turn evolution and all the Big Bang stuff into a religion, just like them. And then Darwin becomes one of the prophets. So yes, Kyle, that does happen. So there's that. Well, that's the thing about the Catholic Church, though, Michael. Like the guy who came up with the Great Expansion, that's commonly called the Big Bang idea, was a Catholic. Like he was a Catholic priest, as I recall, and he was like into education, and he's the one that came up with the idea. So it's like, instead of, and that's the problem with the young Earth creationists. Instead of taking credit for something that they could take credit for as part of their religion, they can't really do that. So, let's see who else. Ken Ham, you outright hear them say it at times. Yes, they will. They will do that. Like they have openly said that, evolutionism is a religion, Big Bangism is a religion, like whatever they want to say is a religion. And when you suddenly realize that that's all garbage, yeah, that's a big move for a lot of people. I don't know if I've ever heard of somebody saying they deconverted over that whole debate, but I think it adds a lot of fuel to the fire when you figure out that a lot of these young Earth creations are straight up lying. Like it, it wouldn't be so bad, but they do it and it's so easily caught. Like that's the problem. Like they're not even good lies. Okay. I mean, I can, man, I'm one of those guys that's entertained by a good lie. Like if you can tell a good story and it's a good bullshit story and I enjoy it, like it's good stuff. It's good stuff. And you tell it with a lot of flair and confidence. I can get into that and laugh along with the best of them. The problem is the bullshit stories that like Ken Ham and Hovind tell, they're not even entertaining. Like it's like it's so obviously a lie. It's hard. So some of the meetings I would have very much preferred to be here, but the meetings were important. Yesterday was awesome, though. We ended up nerding about vaccines and masks. Okay, there you go. See, I told you. Like I'm still very proud of you, Evan. You're doing something. You're like, hey, you're involved, and I can appreciate that. Like that, I will still be very proud of you for doing that. Like there's a part of me that says that civil involvement in politics and all that is definitely, it's a stressful game, I'm going to tell you. Okay. And that's why I told you to find a little balance. But at the same time, if you're doing good things, you're doing good things. So you're always welcome here, Nathan. We try to be nice to everybody. But finding a new community that's like where you actually get to meet people and shake people's hands, yeah, good luck with that. They exist in some big cities, but they're very rare. Like it's, when I was in Houston, I think I knew of about 3 or 4 of them, secular societies kind of thing, where you could actually meet people. I never went to one because if any of you know anything about Houston, you judge the length of a drive based on how many minutes it's going to take to get there. Like you don't go, oh, it's only 3 miles away. Yeah, it's 3 miles away, and in this traffic, it's going to take me 25 minutes to get there. Like I had to constantly make this computation. Like I was always asking my Amazon personal device, how long is it going to take to get there? And that was a far more valid question in Houston than how far away is it? So, but like in a lot of those secular communities, they were like 6 miles away, but I'm like, at a certain time of day, that's going to take me 30 minutes to get there. And I don't know if I want to spend 30 minutes in my car for that. So I'd say if they're lying about this, what else could they be lying would kick in for some? Yes, that's going to happen too. Like that's a valid point, because once I started realizing how much they were lying, I'm like, what else are they lying about? And what other Christian organizations that reaffirm a very literalistic reading of the Bible are they lying about? That's why I finally got into like the Gospels, and I was still a believer, and I was looking at my church, and then somebody mentioned the fact that like the Gospels aren't reliable history, and they gave the reasons why. Like, number one, we really actually don't know who wrote all of them. Somebody asserted that later, and because of that, it's basically all hearsay. And then he pointed out that each of the events in the Gospels don't have any sources. Like, who's the source for the angel Gabriel showing up to Mary? Well, the only possible source it could be was Mary, and we don't have her affidavit on the story, so it's just a story. And this lie of the Gospels are historically true, like, okay, that's not true either. Like, they're guaranteed. So, show from any of the concepts, someone needs to be tough. Story is worth a beer, not a life, though. Yes, I'm just saying. I appreciate a good bullshit story. The other night, like when I'm at work, I listen to various novels and stuff. I've gotten more into listening to books and stuff, and I was just one of them that popped up on my feed was The Hobbit, and there's a moment where Gandalf is going to the bear guy, and he starts telling. It's a true tale. It's not a lie, but the way he does it is so classic. Like he gets the guy more and more involved in the story, and I just appreciated the good bullshit story kind of moment there, even though the story was true inside the thing. So it was just, I appreciate when somebody can tell me a good yarn. That's probably why I like the Renaissance Festival in Texas so much, because a lot of the live acts are just telling bullshit stories. So, and it was just a lot of fun. So, stuff that was comical or just straight out lies and bullshit, but it was very entertaining. So, hey, no problem, Evan. Yeah, you got to change your way of looking at activities. Like, if you're looking for something like a religious service, I think you're going to be disappointed in most communities. You have to kind of find activities that are more religious neutral, I think is a good way to put it. Like, the religion doesn't matter. Being involved in, reading groups or whatever, stuff like that. It's very difficult though when you're in a rural area. I know, because I live in one. So, well, the thing with Texas, okay, I can tell you this. The people outside of Houston don't like Houston very much. And the reason is Houston is very cosmopolitan and very varied as far as its political and social views. Like, I think a good analogy here in Michigan is Detroit. Like, Detroit is, very blue. And in the case of Houston, I think they're very blue too. Austin is the same. Um, and so people outside of that, like you'd hear more disparaging marks about Houston outside of Houston than you did in it. So yeah, yeah, Austin's weird too. It is. Yeah, it's got liberal leanings too. No, no, we don't do that. Yeah, it's more like, yeah, it's see, right. It's the problem with the Gospels. I began to realize is there's no historical affidavit for any of the stories. Like, there's no, like, one of the things that like Habermas says, if I may bring up Habermas again. No, I can't bring up Habermas without doing I can't bring him up without doing this. I really can't. Oh my gosh. But yes, I got to do it. All right. But the thing about Habermas is like, he'll sit there and talk about like the minimal facts have to be like done by two sources at least, like no single source anything, right? And the problem is that one of the sources might be Matthew and the other source might be Mark. And it's like, so is like, yeah, that's got two sources behind that minimal fact. And it's like, yes, but they're both bullshit in quality. Like, it's like the quality of them is never considered. And apologists do that. And I think a lot of us, when we deconvert, we run into the fact that apologists with their standards are kind of low. Like, they're not as high as the rest of us. Like, so yeah, it's like, it becomes a real thing, because that's my biggest thing with the minimal facts was twofold. Like, okay, yeah, it's cited by two ancient sources, but what's the quality weight of each of those ancient sources? And if you're looking at the Gospels are hearsay. Like, they don't tell us who wrote them. They don't tell us who their sources are. You don't have a lot of outside historical, lineup or harmony with anything else. Like, there's no other source that verifies them outside of it. And then he'll throw in the 90% of scholars thing, which has really blown up in his face, thanks to me and Paul and a few others and some of his own Christian brethren, and sisterin, for that matter. And that's kind of what happens in deconversion, is you realize this is bullshit, okay? And it's not good evidence. You might have a lot of evidence, but it doesn't, if none of it's worth a damn, if it's all bullshit, it's still all bullshit. So it's kind of like what you say about the arguments for the existence of God. Like, everybody tries to but all these arguments cumulative indicate something. No, this has zero proof. This has zero proof. You add all the zeros together, you still get zero. Okay. And it's kind of the same way. You never met a girlfriend at a Bible study? Yeah, that is a kind of tragedy. It is a tragedy. And the thing is, like, I look back at my marriage, that's kind of how I feel about it, because I did meet the woman I married at church, but it ended up being not a good thing, because you're kind of pigeonholed into that. That's one of the things that still bothers me. I still want my love story, I still want that. So I remember Tim Mills said that on his channels a year or two ago, that he wanted his love story. Like, he felt he was forced into this relationship because he could only marry Christians or whatever. And yeah, so yeah, but you'll never meet that might be a fortunate thing, Ron. I'm just going to say it. Quartermass pro science. Look for hobby groups for community, anime groups. Yeah, stuff that you're into. Like, if you have a hobby, it's a good thing to get into. It's a good thing. So, but yeah, it's definitely one of those ways you can find community. Like, I told people, like, if you're into going to certain events, there's groups that go together to certain events just because they're all fans. So yeah. I'll see you, Josh. And this is the proper way to say you're leaving, gotta hop, because it's directly related to fangs. So there you go. If I build a big enough pile of balloons, sure, that would become a good house. Yes. That's what cumulative case means. And this is the issues that cause us a lot of, I'm hearing the same stuff. What was the key moment? Well, it's when you realize that the thing wasn't true. Like, there's the claims of the thing wasn't true, and then it's time to leave. So, never been in a relation. I'm shy and introverted and can't get the guts to ask the girl out. Yeah. I'm kind of with you. It's not, here's the thing for me, Nathan. I have it's a lot of work to be in a relationship with me because of the autism. Like, it's hard, because I have a hard time understanding the relationship in the first place. And I don't know, like, I really have to be guided in a romantic relationship, because I feel so damn lost most of the time. And a lot of the dates I went on in Texas, and since I've been back in Michigan, have it's been one date and done. And most of it is because the woman every once in a while the woman will say, yeah, it's just a lot of, you seem like an interesting person, but it's just going to be a lot of work to get off the ground. And that's a valid point. It's a valid point. So it's not just shy and introverted and all that stuff. There's other issues. So forcing people into relationships, what's the most infuriating part of religion from my perspective? They blatantly say procreate so we have more members. Yes. That's kind of the thing that kind of happened to me and my ex in a certain way. Like it was, for me, like we're going to talk about this in Red Letters, Red Flags when we talk about Jesus and his creation of purity culture, but in the next one in Matthew, because he does the whole if you look at a woman with lust in your heart, you've committed adultery thing, and it's like it's the focusing somebody, you got to get married in order to have sex in the first place. And I knew so many kids in the youth group that got married because they were banging already. Like they wanted to get rid of the guilt of it. It's like it was, and then you have this idea of let's keep them all in the church and grow them up in the church. And that's a real thing. Like it's a real thing. Oh, very much so. You always marry her in your heart first. I suppose that's valid. Like you can marry them in the heart. But yes, it is very cultish. Like we couldn't, like you couldn't really date outside of the church. And so at the time the youth group had 3 girls in it. And the one that ended up being my wife was just kind of seemingly the most stable at the time. So you got married at 21 because you were banging. Okay, bad decision. Yeah, it's a bad decision. I mean, just because you're boinking doesn't mean you need to get married. Okay, like it's not a thing. So, and the problem with the religion is like, yeah, you're pushing that direction. The girls and becoming relaxed on them may help, especially if you're not seeing them as romantic targets from there. Yes. From there, you have a better chance with other girls and the friends of friends just naturally getting there. You're married to your right hand. Okay, that's fair. That's a lot of people married to the right hand or their left or both. Well, there you go. But yeah, marrying her in your heart first, that's a good biblical workaround. It's a good biblical workaround on that one. Oh, man. Yeah, the other part of that is the procreate. Like there is definitely the idea planted in your heart when you're young that you need to stay in the faith and raise your kids in the faith too. Like I remember when I was a Christian education pastor and director before that, one of the things my pastor had me focus on was kids because we could get the families too if we got the kids. And then raising the kids up to stay in the church and then letting them, marry in the church. We even had like a long-term plan of creating, as these kids got older into the youth group, creating different situations where they could date and get to know each other and all that shit. So there's a definite, like, you don't have to be like diabolical to do this necessarily, but it's a plan. Like people have a plan. So, like churches have a plan to do this. So yeah, more kids equals more ties once they grow up. Once they grow up and get a job. But yeah, there's like think about it. Like the Amish and the Mennonites are very pro family, pro lots of kids, like, and no birth control. Like, why do you think that is? Because they're still like, maybe my 12 kids, only 8 of them will stay in the church and 4 will leave, but we still got a net gain of 400% there. It's like, I think there's a thing with that, like keeping the thing alive very much is like a hereditary thing. And so it's like you pass your religion on to your kids and it just keeps it alive. So, hey, all right. So Earl's going to hang out at the discard. So in the after party chat. So just come by and hang out. So, but because I'll be done streaming, I got to go to work. But you guys are always welcome to hang out and BS around. So head over to there. So at the after party. So Earl will be there and you can hang out with Earl, the lab in which our Lord naps, and talk to her and have a good time. And hopefully you guys will post some memes that are funny and I can steal them. Like, so, but yeah, your mom made you tithe 10% of your allowance. Now this is Ron, did you ever realize how much money we were getting scammed out of all through our lives? Like, think about this. Your parents earned that money they gave you for the allowance. They paid tithe on that, and then they gave you the money, and then you paid tithe on it as well. Like that's double dipping. Like that's in most civilized countries, double dipping, taxing something for the same thing twice is illegal, but apparently not in the church. See you later. You guys have a great one. The Bible predicted AI. How the hell did it do that? I'll have to look it up. It doesn't surprise me, Kyle, because you can read backwards into any prophecy. Like you can post hoc rationalization is a thing, and I can see where they would do that with AI. I mean, there's are people out there that claim AI is actually the new real God, and like, oh, that's disturbing. Some of you need to go watch the Terminator movies again. To assume that our technology is always going to be benevolent and serve us might be a false assumption. So, let's see, I donated 10%, sometimes more. I gave a lot, plus when I was Orthodox, I bought a lot of icons. Okay, I mean, see, I'm happy to leave that behind. Like, I'm broke enough without tithing. So, but yes, it's like, it's one of those things where I just look back at it and I think to myself, if I had all the money I gave to the church, how big would my 401k be? Like for myself, could I have had that house and paid it off? It's like, we're talking about 40 years of giving to the church from the time I was a kid until the time I left. Like that's a lot of money. Like when you really think about it, 10% of your income over 40 years, that's a shit ton of money that I really wish I had back. Like, but yeah, but I'm what they did. The guy in particular always points to people's knowledge of the Bible as secretly being Christian. Yeah. Yeah, like it's just like you guys borrow from our Christian morality all the time. 30 years I did it. Could have lots of, I mean, like, I think this is what infuriates most people about religion and why they're anti-theist is more the money. For me, it's not the money so much as all the negative effects on everything else. Like I don't have words, I guess, for how I feel about how it affects personal relationships and waste your opportunities and all that stuff. Like to me, that was a much bigger issue than the money, but the money is a big issue. Like it's like, I'm trying to think, when I had my best job in ministry, I think I was making $500 a week, but I paid $50 of that to the district office as my tithe. So that's $200 a month or $250 a month. multiply that. Okay. Yeah, like it's $2,600 a year just when I was a minister in the Assemblies of God. Plus, I gave offerings at events and things like that. So if you figure probably $4,000 worth of giving, offering tithes, all that stuff every year as a minister in the Assemblies of God, and I did that for like 10 years. That's $40,000. So, and then you add all the time I was a Christian before that, and I've probably given to the church probably close to $120,000 over the 40 years I was in it. Like when you really think about it, like that's a lot of money when you put it together. Um, so yeah, it was a lot. You know, like they say you make like a million something, at least in the United States, in your lifetime, and when you're giving up 10% of that, that's a lot of money. So imagine if churches had to return the tithe when members leave. Oh, that's so funny. They would never do that. That's just not going to happen. The money thing with church, like the more I've looked, like my deconversion moment, like getting back to the subject at hand for the thing, one of the things I realized is how much I was scamming people. And like, you make your money making people feel guilty, and then they put their money in the basket and you pray for them and they feel better. And that's how you make your money. They're never going to give it back. They're never going to give it back. Oh, yeah, there's just too much money involved. I mean, when I think about the mega churches I saw in Texas, and I look at their budget statements, and we're talking millions of dollars, like a single church taking in double-digit $1 million every year. Yeah, they're not going to give that up. They're not going to give that up. It's a scam that's too big. So wish they did it with a better situation. a better situation. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. All right, folks. So I've kind of run out of time. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. I do have to get ready for work and head out, and it is my Friday night at work, and it's been a long, difficult week. So I want to thank everybody for stopping by. I appreciate all of you. I want to give a shout out to Jova Shade. It's been a while since I've seen Jova, so thank you very much, Martin, Cranky, Josh. So, and I did get to wear the hat today, so appreciate all of you guys wearing the hat. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it. I will be streaming again tomorrow. I'll be looking at one of my very, very old videos. I think somebody requested this on Discord, that you should take a look at this and review this again. And so I'll be reviewing an old video of mine called Anti-Sermon 1, Abraham Was Not a Hero. It's March, it's my birthday month, so I'm being a little self-reflective, I suppose, and you can deal with it. But I think some of the points I make are valid, but just be ready for poor video and audio quality is all I'm saying. I'm just going to say it now. But we'll do that tomorrow, and then in a couple weeks, I'll be streaming on Tuesdays as well. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. I think I want to find atheism and stuff like that in the news and talk about it. So I think that's something that I want to see, religious nationalism, Christian nationalism, stuff like that. So we'll talk more about that stuff on a Tuesday. But yeah, thanks everybody for doing that. So we'll see that. The Discord link is there. Earl's going to be there. So y'all have a good time. That's the place to go and talk. If you need, hopefully we'll create a place big enough where people can find somebody to talk to when they need somebody to talk to. That's kind of my goal with a lot of things in building community around here. Like a lot of things we discuss, missing community. That's what we're trying to do. So thank you very much. Appreciate all of you. May fangs nibble on all of your hearts. May he purify your vegetables with his pointy teeth. May he gaze into your eyes with his own big black eyes, so that you will feel warm fuzzies and just feel all the goodness that he can offer to your life. Make sure you put a circumcised carrot on top of your stash, because that might cause fangs to take the circumcised carrot rather than your stash the most, and he will reach out for the most holy of vegetables. the carrot and instead of taking your stash and giving it to somebody else. So thanks for that. Make sure you remind yourself, make sure you wiggle all your noses at each of your fellow fluffers. And thank you once again to the Fluffalo Fangs for being such a great cult to have started and belong to. Thank you all very much. Nom nom and all that. And as always, guys, live your best life. You only get one go around and then it's over. So make sure you take all your time, your money, your opportunities, and give them to yourself, the people you love and care for, to make this a better world. You'll be happier if you do. And don't waste them on the trappings of religion and faith, because that is a dead end. I speak from experience. And as always, folks, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you all tomorrow, where the Rabyd Atheist will be reviewing himself. See you then. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end to find out how you can support the channel better. Of course, there's always the normal notions of just hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit your notification bell, and share the video with your friends and family that you think would be interested. That's always very appreciated. If you want to support the channel in a more tangible way, there's several options. You can super chat or super thanks in the comments or during a stream. Those are always very welcome. But you also can become a member of the channel. Members have certain perks like getting the videos early, things like that. They also have some good custom emojis during chat. So all of these things are good benefits to members, but they also support this channel and its work to continue to normalize atheism and deconversion, for which I'm very appreciative. It keeps me going, and it keeps me as a content creator being able to do more and more as a content creator. So if you choose those methods of support, thank you very much. And I appreciate you once again for staying to the end and listening to other ways that you can support the channel. Appreciate it. Thanks, and I'll catch you next time.